Black Viking Entertainment Productions.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Bobby the Boss. Boss Fish, Specialty Cichlids. Boss Fish Aquatics. Welcome to Fish House. This is where we all gonna sit back and talk. You know, I like to talk my shit. Let's talk our shit together. Let's talk about what we do. Talk about how we do it. I know I do a lot of things. Let's see what you guys is up to. Yeah, welcome to the show. How you doing, everybody? We are proud to announce the launch of the new podcast called Fish House. It's a place to chop it up. Chop it up with your boy. Tell us what it takes to do what you do. Share some tips and advice. Talk about pros and cons of your hobby. We also have some special guests, surprise co-hosts, and much more. I know I can't be the only hobbyist to love to do all this shit. I have a passion. Let's talk about it. You can also give us a call at 862-209-0220 if you want to chop it up with us. Check us out on Facebook at BFSC20. That's our business page. Boss Fish SpecialtyCichlids.com is the website. You can also find us on Instagram and Snapchat at Boss Fish. Let's get into it.
Yeah, because this girl today who I was speaking to, she said if I wanted to, she could send me the entire canister filter, brand new, and it would be about $180 with no shipping.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm considering doing if I can't find somebody to give me to get me a new, because you can actually buy these impellers. Who the hell would want to buy a used impeller?
Yeah.
That's why it's ridiculous, because that's why you want to get a new impeller, because it's the only part on the filter that it's the only moving part, and it's the only part that's going to have any wear and tear and that you're going to need to replace are the shafts and the impellers.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, look, I'll look into the guy that I know, and if he has them, I'll see if I can get some for you. If not, if I were you, I would take the deal that they gave you, and I mean, if you really want to go back with that same filter, I mean, that's probably the best thing you're going to be able to get if you can't find them individually.
Yeah, well, it's worked so well for me over and the other thing too, I found secret ingredient. You probably have found this too. Secret weapon, rather. I found out years ago. Do you use ChemiPures?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too. Man, what a product that is.
Yeah.
Just one of those in a canister, and I found they can last anywhere from 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, the one that I use in one of my filters, I've had in there probably 3 or 4 months. I haven't touched it.
And it's skin clear, right? Your tank.
Yes, it is, and then you can recharge them too. There's
you just take them out and run them through water.
No, you take them out and you got to use like a certain solution, like either salt, like rock salts or bleach. And what you do is you soak it. Yeah, you soak it. I think last time I did it was about a half an hour. You soak it for a half an hour, and I put 1 cap of bleach in a gallon of water, and then after I did that, when it'll turn white again, and I just rinsed it a couple of times. It probably takes about half a day to do it. Once you soak it, you rinse it and then soak it in water again. You just rinse it a couple of times until you no longer smell the chlorine. And then you're good to go. You never have to buy a new one again. You can recharge them. Most people don't read the directions on the back when they buy it. Past the point of telling you how to use it. But yeah, you can definitely recharge them.
Oh wow! Thanks for telling me. That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume.
I just yesterday changed the the canister, because I was about 5 or 6 months in, and I figured it's with these they can be, one thing about goldfish, I have 3 big goldfish in this tank, and they're pretty messy, goldfish. Well, so are cichlids. but these guys are a lot of pooping involved with these goldfish.
Yeah.
They're beautiful though, I'll tell you, man. The fins on them are spectacular. They're nice to look at.
No, they definitely are,
and they're peaceful.
Yes.
They just swim around. They don't mess with each. It's a lot easier keeping them. But anyway, so I changed it yesterday, and that's when I found out when I replaced everything, put it all back in. Hooked it all up, got it going. I'm hearing that little rattling sound.
Yeah.
And the only reason that could possibly be happening is because of wear and tear. The impeller has some sort of chip on it.
Yeah, chip or a bend
like
or a
that.
small warp or something. Yeah.
That's the only possible reason for that. Because when they are working properly, they're about as close to silent as they, well, I'm sure do you have eons?
No, yes, I do. I was going to say, when you take the impeller out, does the little rubber grommet on the end of the shaft come out with it?
The top one does, yeah, not the one that's in there's two.
There's one in the bottom,
the shaft.
I've found that I noticed that once, and it was hard for me to do. I think I used a long pair of tweezers, but I was able to get that rubber out and clean. I think I used a long Q-tip. To clean all the way down to where that grommet goes, and also make sure the rubber's nice and clean. And I had success for another couple of months doing that, but then the next time around, it just started making noise again, and I got sick of it. I ended up just buying a new one. So
it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's not one of those noise. It's not like having a jackhammer in your house or anything, but it's annoying.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm trying to figure out a way to where I don't have to hear, because my fish room is downstairs, and also it's my office, and I do a podcast, and it's where my, everything is, and it's the most annoying sound to me is the bubbles on the damn sponge filters.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to eliminate that, but then once I figured it out, I decided to put hang on the back filters on the tanks. Also, there's no way to silence them, so it's like I kind of got used to the water running. But a filter making noise is the most annoying thing ever. It's like a rumbling sound, and it's just a constant annoyance,
Yes, and I'm sensitive to that anyway. The older I've gotten, I found that I don't even like turning on air conditioners. I don't like that sound.
Mm-hmm.
When I have the TV on, you can't even hear it.
Yeah.
But when the house is quiet. Like right now, for example, I can hear that little, and I guess it's just because I'm finicky now, or getting curmudgeonly and old and everything. But it just bothers me that, because I know the way it can be, dead silent, like I wouldn't even know it's going.
I had a problem with my my Fluval FX6. And what I did with that is, it was brand new and it was making that noise. All I did was take the impeller and soak it in vegetable oil for about an hour. And then when I took it out, I just kind of rinsed it off with water. I didn't clean the vegetable oil off completely. And that stopped the noise altogether. I haven't had it happen since.
That's someone else told me, that if you take the impeller and rub some silicone on it, all over the magnet and the little rotor blades on top and up and down the shaft, that will also can also do the trick.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't use silicone. I don't know, it probably isn't harmful to the fish, but I know vegetable oil was probably most likely less harmful, if anything.
Yeah, olive oil or corn oil or whatever, right?
Yeah, it works pretty good, I try not to
maybe
add
I'll
anything.
do that. I just don't want to disassemble it all again and then run the risk of making it even worse.
Yeah, that's true.
And trying the vegetable oil.
Well, you could probably pull the top off and don't pull the impeller out. Just pour some oil inside of it, and then just rinse it out with a sprayer from your sink or something like that. So you don't have to actually take the impeller out. Just pour it in there, into the actual, the little groove that it goes into, the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then clean it out after that. Just kind of spray it with your sprayer and put it back together. I mean, it'll do the same thing. It should go where it needs to go, if anything. there's any voids or anything that's allowing any type of anything through it, I think the oil will be able to penetrate it.
Yeah, that's an idea. The Eheim parts are really hard to find, and I know if you buy the part directly, if you get that impeller directly from Eheim, they'll charge you about $20 for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. All I do is charge whatever it costs me to ship it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a $20 part and it costs $7 to ship, then it's $27. You know what I mean? Like, small stuff like that it makes no sense to try to make a profit off it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it used to be so easy. I mean, you could just call, and there was this other company, Doctors Forster and Smith.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember them?
No, I've never dealt with them. I'm 46 years. I'm sorry, damn, I said 46. I'm 42 years old. I'm still kind of young.
Yeah.
So if they were around a while back, I probably don't know anything about them.
They were the go-to source for everything fish. I mean, they were really, really great. They were somewhere in the Midwest. I think they were in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And not only were they a tremendous, reliable, you call them up, you get a really, really knowledgeable person on the phone. And they also had a staff of marine biologists.
Oh, really? Wow.
If you really wanted to get into some problems with them. And these guys would spend a lot of time with you explaining stuff and stuff. And the prices were great. And now they, for whatever reason, I guess, like so many things, probably Bezos bought, because he's going to own Earth soon, I think, that guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be one, the United States of Bezos or something. But they're no longer available. They're going out of business because they're trying to get their product. They're a German company, Eheim, and they're trying to get their products made in China now.
Oh, okay.
Like everybody else.
Okay,
which means the quality will go way down, and the prices will go up. Now, whether or not that's accurate, I haven't a clue. I asked them at Eheim. They says, no way. It's always going to be a German company. So you don't know who to believe. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm terrible with computers. I know how to use. I'm lucky I can dial the the phone. And anytime I have to order anything, I have to go next door to the kid and get him to do it for me. And I only like to do that when it's really necessary because I don't want to bother him.
No, I get it.
Because you never know how people are going to start saying, hey, enough. You know what I mean? So I was hoping I'd be able to just get it. Well, they told me at Eheim here in the U.S. or whatever you get when you call them, because they do have a number that you can call, customer service, and you get a.
Okay.
And they told me what they've been doing is the products are still coming from Germany, but they're shipped from Germany, these products, and because. What they're doing though is it's done differently. They place bulk orders, like they'll order 1,000 impellers, 2217s to ship to their U.S. facility. And when you call them, and that's where I am right now.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And she said that they'll be available. And I said, do you know that for a fact? She said, well, to be completely honest with you, that might not. They told us 2 to 3 months, but who knows? Maybe not.
Okay.
She also told me, and this I bought because I've heard this said a lot, that because with this whole thing, people staying indoors and, people's tastes are changing. And one of the things that's selling a lot, they're selling a lot more aquarium supply. People are buying aquariums.
Yeah. Yep.
And getting into fish because it's something you can do inside your house.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely enough involved to keep you busy.
Right. And she said, so that's really the demand has gotten really high for fish and aquarium products and all that kind of stuff. So she said that's screwed up the whole distribution chain, particularly if you're dealing with a company that's in another country like Eheim, because I think Fluval's a U.S. company.
Yeah.
But and years ago I bought a Fluval filter, but I didn't think it was anywhere near as good as the Eheim.
Well, the newer ones are pretty nice. Like I said, I use FX6s. They're big. I have a big 220 gallon tank, so that one works for me pretty good. It took a long time for the filter to be able to do what I wanted it to do. Maybe 6 or 8 months before it started to look nice and clear all the time, and I felt like my parameters were exactly where they needed to go. This is a pretty big filter. It's like a 5-gallon bucket sort of size, or 4-gallon bucket. And, it's a lot of media in there, so it takes a while to build up and do what it has to do. But I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm going to look into Sun pretty soon. I heard there's a company called Sun out there that has pretty nice filters with the UV sterilizers and things like that. And their prices are fairly reasonable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sun. If you look on Amazon, I don't know what size tank you have, but they I think all of them come with like digital button panels and UV sterilizer lights and things like that. Like, I'm hearing some good things about them. Yeah, so that's something I'm going to look into pretty soon. I have my 150 upstairs. I'm not quite happy with the filtration I have, so I want to get something better for that. So it's either that or it's going to be one of those big canister pond filters, and I'll have to put something on it to turn the flow down, but I'll figure it out.
Did you ever try a wet dry?
I have not. I was thinking about it. I just haven't gotten a chance to get into it.
Because years ago, when what was the name of that store? Out on, they started in one of the cities I lived in for a couple of years, Bayonne, New Jersey. This mom and pop store called Pet Shanty.
Oh, okay.
And then they, when they grew, they kept the store in Bayonne, but then they opened this really big store out on Route 22 in Union, the Pet Shanty. And they were amazed. They had incredible selection of fish.
Oh, okay.
And,
nice.
and what he used to use, I don't know how much water he had in that store, but it had to be an enormous. They must have had 2 or 3 times as many tanks and water in that Pet Shanty. And what he used to use was this ginormous wet-dry filtering system.
Oh, okay.
He showed it to me once. He had it down in the basement of the store. The thing was like the size of a swimming pool.
Oh, wow.
A large swimming pool.
Wow.
And he ran everything off of that and evolved a whole lot of, PVC pipe, plumbing and everything. But he said once he got it all set up, the thing runs like a top. So for someone who has as much stuff as you, it might be something you want to at least think about.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying something different. I know it's space wise is where I'm a little restricted for something like that here. But I do have a 2-car garage that I'm hoping in the spring to start working on, because I'm starting to breed more fish and I'm starting to run out of room in the house. The fish house is only but so big. So now I have to set up some more tanks in the garage, and I'm gonna just do an independent air system and just run it all off sponge filters. But I'm gonna set up automatic drain and see if I can set up automatic fill, filtered water, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen. What'd you say your name again is, man?
Bobby.
Bobby. My name's Mike. I would like to come over and see what you have over there, if that's doable.
No, yeah, definitely. When would you want to come by?
Whenever it's convenient for you, because I'm retired. I could do it anytime.
Okay. Well, I have an appointment I have 2 appointments this afternoon. So, if tomorrow after 12, I'm free.
Tomorrow wouldn't be good. How about next week?
Whatever's good for you. I mean,
make it easy on yourself. You're probably
now. Where exactly are you? Said you're in Morris. You're in Morristown.
Morris. It's actually Morris Township.
Okay.
You familiar with this area?
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm in Rockaway.
You know where that Tiffany's is in Morris Plains?
Yes, I do.
I live right around the corner from that.
What I can do is if either my second appointment is at 3, the last time he canceled on me. So if he doesn't show up if he doesn't give me a call around 2:30, I can give you a call and you can come by today at 3 if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'm going to save your number, and what I'll do is if I don't hear from him around 2:30, I'm just going to shoot him a text and say, hey, get with me later, and then I'll give you a call.
Yeah, and if not, definitely next week. Cause I'd really like to. I can spend. I remember, I'll go into these places. I'll spend. I used to go into that pet shanty. I'd spend hours in there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get lost in places too, man. Even though I do what I do here, I still go around and see what everybody else has. I do that no matter what. And real quick before, just so you know, when I mentioned in the beginning that I have a podcast, I have my business phone set up to where it's like quality control phone calls for learning purposes. Yes. So just so you know, you've been being recorded.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Some people don't react to that pretty good, and it's only because I'm just starting my podcast, and I use certain clips sometimes in the podcast, and or whatever, like to go back on a conversation that we spoke about, and just wanted to make sure that I remembered exactly what it is you requested for me, so I keep it in a file on my computer.
Yeah. Let me ask you one last quick question for me too. How have you found those? Like I said, one among the many things that suck about getting old is you forget where those hybrids. They're you mentioned them earlier.
Oh, the Dovi Jaguar.
No, the ones they're Asian. They're Asian hybrids. They I think they were originally, the Trimax.
Yes.
Yeah, they were hybridized between the
you mean flower horns?
Yeah, flower horns, exactly.
I find that flower horns are a little bit tough to take care of. And this is just me personally. I mean, I know some people specialize in only flower horns. Flower horns require certain care.
They can get crazy looking.
Yeah, they get really nice. They most of the time they have to be isolated. They don't get along with most fish.
One fish. You have to keep them one in the tank. That's it.
Yeah. So I got a few males. Right now I have 3. And I don't know. They're just not doing what I want them to do. Like you get them
kill everything.
Yeah, that too. Plus, if they get any kind of stress, like most of the males, really well-bred males have a real big nuchal hump, and it just starts to get really big. And I found that if you mix the males and the females when they're younger, that they tend to stress out and the male's heads tends to shrink. So now, and it's weird. It just happened like within the last few weeks. So now I had to set up a couple of tanks just specifically for them. And they don't like 20 gallons or 30 gallons, so I got them in 55 gallons, which they're kind of taking up space for me. but if you're into it and you like really nice flower horns and you don't mind having one tank with one fish, they're very personable fish. They play, you can groom them to, they fight with you through the glass and everything. They're pretty cool if you have the space for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big time diggers too, right?
Yeah. Everybody that I've dealt with when it comes to flower horns, they kind of frown upon having substrate in their tanks. Why? I don't know. So and most of the guys I know that keep them, they just basically keep a bare bottom tank with just water and a fish. And they tend to really thrive.
Have to.
Yeah, they really thrive that way. But I'm trying to breed them.
Dynamite looking though, man. There's this store over in New York City in Chinatown, and this guy, he's a Chinese guy, an Asian guy, and he pretty much specializes in them. And he's selling them. He's got goldfish and flower horns. That's amazing.
How's his prices?
Talk about polar opposites, but the prices he gets for his fish. It's a start like in the thousands.
Yeah, they're really expensive. That's the reason why I've been trying to breed them. But then, as you learn, they claim that the flower horns, most of the males are infertile. So it's kind of hard to. You got to kind of shop around and kind of pick and mix up a little bit until you actually find a breeding pair. And
that's what happens with hybrids. They're shooting blanks, I guess.
Yeah, same thing with parrotfish.
Correct. But are they breeding them now?
Yeah, they're breeding them. Yeah, I'm trying to breed them myself, but it's just not happening. It's not happening. I mean, we'll see. The female still hasn't laid any eggs yet. But I have a friend. He breeds flower horns, and what he does is he waits for he keeps his females alone. He waits for them to lay eggs, and then he takes the female out and drops the male in there. And then if the male's going to fertilize, it's going to do it right away. Within 24 hours, they'll be fertilized. If not, then they'll start eating them. Then you know that the male's infertile. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Has he had success?
Yes, he has.
Really?
Yep.
So he's bred flower horns.
Yep. There's a bunch of guys that I know that have success. And they're really good because they'll sell you a breeding pair also, a proven breeding pair. And so far, I haven't seen anyone say, "Hey, you said these guys breed," and they don't. But I haven't had any luck. But there's a few people that I know that do. But they specialize in it. They stay one species only flower horns, and of course they get great at what they do.
That's what this guy over in he doesn't speak real good English, but enough, but man, I mean, some of those fish he has are just, I'm sure, a guy like you who clearly is into it, you go over there, you look at these and you say, holy shit, like, they're wow, you've never seen, they're some of the most amazing looking fish I've ever seen.
There's so many different kinds, too. They come in all different colors, red, blue, white, silver,
Yep.
Yeah, they're all over the place. I guess it all depends on what they mix them with, because they are man-made fish, and who knows where they originated from or what, where the male and female came from. So you never know where you're going to get. I mean, unless of course you know where your fish came from.
Yeah, well, one thing he definitely understands and is very communicative in are numbers. And you find one that you really like, you say, because he doesn't keep prices on anything. You have to ask him. And you see one of these really dynamite flower horns, and he keeps them all one fish per tank.
Yeah.
And you say, well, how much is that? $4,000.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, $3,000 for one fish.
No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But these are prices, and he must be getting it.
Yeah. That happened to me. I was trying to buy a specific gar fish. It was called the panda gar. And I'm looking, and the same thing. It wasn't no price listed or anything. And I finally get the guy to answer me, and he's like $5,900. I said, what? I said, you got to be out of your mind. Now, I get it, man. If that's what they cost and that's what you get, fine. But I went through all of that just to say, oh, never mind. That's way too much for that. Wow. I don't got that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking. You sound like a pretty good guy too, man. Certainly,
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I think we certainly have a similar interest. Because it's the kind of thing. I know you meet people who are people can get passionate about the hobby, aquariums and fish and stuff.
No, yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. I've been into the fish thing since I was a little kid. But I ended up getting hurt a year and a half ago at work, and I ended up going to workers' comp and getting surgery on my back. So that gave me a lot more time. I'm all right. It's been about 7 months since the surgery. I'm recovering okay. I'm not 100%. I probably never will be 100%, but I'm doing a lot better than I was before. I'm just not where I need to be, But it gave me a lot more time to focus on the hobby itself, and then my kids are older. I have a 22-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and a 16-year-old, and they're all boys, and they were able to help me out. And
I was gonna say it's handy. They're all young and strong.
Yeah, they helped me out. Right now, the two older ones moved out, but then I still got the two teenagers. They helped me keep this place going. Because it's a lot of work. With water changes and
absolutely.
And, every so often we do a complete tear down, and maybe sometimes we want to change something up. I was just thinking today, I got 6 tanks that I have to reseal in my garage. I just was waiting for the snow to melt because I couldn't get to the tanks. So I'm going to set up another 2 racks so I can put a couple more tanks in the space that I have left anyway.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in seeing your setup over there. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, cool. I don't know if you're familiar with how to use websites or anything, but if you look on Google, I'm assuming you found my number on Google, right?
Yeah, that's how I did it.
Yeah, if you look on that,
I have an iPad.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I. My friend told me get one of those. In fact, he told me I got a used one, a Samsung used one, I think for $40 or something. He said,
okay,
get it just because you get a bigger image on it.
Yeah, if you go on Google, when you scroll down past the phone number and everything, there's a link for the website that says bossfishspecialtycichlids.com. If you click that link, it'll bring you to the website. And anywhere on that page, like there's a Facebook icon, Instagram, those kind of things. You can click those too, and that'll send you to my business page on Facebook. And I try to keep my stock list up to date on the website, but it's such a pain in the butt, so I'm always kind of behind on that. But anything I don't have on the website, I definitely have on the Facebook page. It's a lot easier to take a video and post a fish rather than having to go and type everything in on the website.
Yeah, who knows? I might come over there and I'll end up seeing a fish that Dynamite Fish I'm buying it from you, and because I've had these 3 goldfish now. The only thing they can get a little boring.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've had them for they're beautiful. They really are. And there's about a dozen different types of goldfish. Hobby type goldfish, and the fins they grow are super beautiful and flowing and everything. But and I probably had these goldfish for longer than I've ever had any kind of. I've had these for about three years now.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to switch off a lot because I was just trying so many different types of cichlids. I would just and they'd end up killing themselves.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Because I was always experimenting with community cichlid, attempts to get a cooperative bunch together, and that was one of the reasons I got it. Because I just said no, it's impossible. You can't get these guys to live in a community tank. They just won't do it. They'll kill each other.
Yeah, you could probably look. I mean, I know that fish compete for certain areas of the tank. So say if you got fish that like to swim in the middle of the tank, and you try to get something that likes to live on the bottom, like, I don't know, catfish or plecos or, bottom feeders. It kind of gives you different levels of your tank also. And I had that issue when it came to certain fish. I was trying to breed and raise rainbow cichlids, and it just wasn't working out. They kept killing each other, and I didn't understand why. So I start doing more and more research. It's like when you have them, you can't have anything else that likes to share the same part of the tank. And I'm talking like mollies. Like there were mollies were killing each other, the grammies, everything. Once I separated them and only left the fish that like to stay on the top in one tank and then put bottom feeders in it, then they worked out fine. But I had no idea that that's the way it worked. When it came to mollies and rainbows and tetras and things like that, you kind of can't just throw anything in there and hope it works out, because it may work out for a little while, but eventually, like we were saying earlier, it just turns into a nightmare.
Yeah, because the last group I went to Africa.
Oh, really?
Because
nice.
I've traveled a lot. And a friend of mine and I, he went over there too. And he actually went to Malawi.
Okay.
And he scuba dived in Lake Malawi. And he brought back a film of it. Ultra spectacularly beautiful. It's crystal clear water. And he's got photos of swimming in, had to be in the millions of these super beautiful, colorful Lake Malawi cichlids. And I said, wow, that's why I got into. Then all of a sudden I went off on this thing of getting all these African cichlids, and probably pound for pound, they're the most aggressive.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, lately I haven't been having much aggression in my my peacock and hap tanks and stuff. I've been having more aggression in my Central and South American tanks, but I have had one fish all of a sudden out of nowhere decide it wants to kill one fish every day until the tank is empty.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the name, the technical, the Latin name, I don't know if have you ever, the Pseudotropheus.
Yeah.
They are, they're not that big. They're long and small. They're about 4 or 5 inches long when they're full grown.
Yeah.
But they are just ultra, super intolerant.
Yeah, I have a few. Pseudotropheus. Offhand, I couldn't tell you the names of them, but yeah, I mean, I get so many different fish in. Like sometimes I get fish in, and I'm expecting one thing, and I get something different, and then I got to do a whole lot of research to find out what they are. I just found out probably about a week ago that some of the mabunas I had were Pseudotropheus. I had no idea.
Yeah, those mabunas can get real.
Yeah, I got some nice breeders too, man. I got Africobu. They're mixed with the albino genes, so they produce both, and they also produce just every clutch is a different looking fish. Like none of them ever come out looking the same. It's pretty impressive how they work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I knew a guy who was really, in fact, at that Foster's and Smith, he was a marine biologist. He was explaining to me, they actually hooked up with, they put these mathematical formulas together for some of those Pseudotropheus and the really, really aggressive African cichlids. And they were able to, of course, there will be slight variations, but they were get a pretty good handle on just exactly how much water, when in captivity, they required to just not be so aggressive that they would kill everything else.
Yeah.
And the amount of water just one male needs is for the size of the fish.
Yeah.
Like he would need 50 or 60 gallons of water.
Yeah, they say the same thing about Oscars. For every Oscar, you need 50 gallons of space. I don't do that personally. I'm not saying it's not true, but I don't. Some of these fish you don't have 50 gallons apiece for. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and you got all kinds of water over there.
Yeah.
Because I knew when I got in. I would say you'd put, say, 4 or 5 in your tank, and I had a 90-gallon tank, and it seemed to be okay, for 24 hours or less. And then you'd find that the ultra-aggressive dominant male would start. You'd see all the other fish against the glass outside of and he would just keep swimming back and forth, leg to leg, and he would tolerate them on the side, hovering against the glass.
Oh wow!
For a little while, and then he one by one he just picked them off. He just I guess he would determine who were the easiest ones, and he would kill them all, and then it would just be one.
Yeah, well, I keep a good eye on I'm always moving something around. If I see something funny, I'll move things around. It's. I already just naturally, I get probably a handful of dead loss in a month for no reason, So every day I come down to the fish room and I'm like, oh, everybody made it. That's what my girlfriend says. Everybody make it today? I'm like, yeah. Just out of nowhere, like my Jaguar, all of a sudden out of nowhere, man, he was fine, and all of a sudden he started sitting at the bottom. I'm like, wow, what's going on with him? And I started medicating him. I thought he was getting better. And then he started growing fungus, so I treated him for that. And it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And no matter what the medication I use, which I know works for other fish, and I've used it already, I only use medications that I know that work. He just was going downhill. And then a couple of days ago, I came downstairs, and he was swimming on his side. It's like, oh, that's it. So
Well, when I had the breeding pair of the Jaguar cichlids, they were when they would lay there. I couldn't do water changes. They would, you couldn't put your hand in the tank to do the water change.
Yeah.
They would. I ended up buying these surgical gloves because and they can when they bought, they got little teeth on them.
Oh yeah, they do. They definitely do. They can bite through those gloves.
Oh yeah, and I mean particularly the male.
Yeah. He
would attack me like incredibly viciously.
I only have one fish that I'm scared of like that. I have a 14-inch Midas cichlid.
I know that.
And he's pretty big, and he hasn't attacked me yet. But every so often, I'll get too close to the tank, and he'll just go and splash water out of the tank at me. And if I go in there to clean it, I have to really keep an eye on him because he starts to get very temperamental. Same thing with I have a Texas, so I have a nice sized Texas, probably 10 inches, and the same thing. You go anywhere near him, man, you got to watch him because he'll get you over and over and over again. Yep.
They were one of the first really tough cichlids I got was a Midas. They are mean, man.
Yeah, but most of the time he's cool, and I got him in there, and some people say you can only keep him by itself. Well, right now in the 220, I have the big Midas, I have the Texas, and I have, 10 or 15 red jewels.
Yeah.
And they're pretty aggressive. I mean, but they're getting huge. You would think that they wouldn't like them, but they get along well. I have 3 big plecos in there also. And it's out of every fish that I had with them, that mix is working great because there is no aggression. There is no aggression. They don't go after the smaller fish. I'm totally surprised that they don't go after the smaller fish, but they don't. And the plecos are just huge. I have an 18-inch common pleco in there, and he's just a monster.
Yeah, they can get really big.
Yeah. I got him from a rescue. Somebody bought one of my Oscars, and when I got to because I deliver also, so I brought it to his house, and he had this 50-gallon tank with this huge pleco in it and a big Oscar. And he's like, do you want him? I was like, yeah, I'll take him. If I have the space for it, I'll take it. If you're going to give me a fish, of course I'm going to take the fish. But it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had a red terror once, Feste.
Yeah.
And he was one of the most aggressive fish I've ever had. I had to take. He was like a flower horn.
Yeah.
You had to take everything else. He could only live alone because he would not tolerate another fish. And this was a 90-gallon tank.
Yeah. My friend actually just called me 2 days ago. He had a breeding pair. They had some fry, and then the female killed the male. So now he has now he has this 6 or 7 inch female that he doesn't know what to do with, And I'm like, yeah, well, once I make a little space, I'll probably take her off your hands. I love those. I love any kind of fish that I love. I like to breed. So if I can get a nice female that breeds, and I'll find a male. Once I get some fry out of them, I'll just separate them and get rid of them. You know what I mean? Like somebody else would enjoy them. Rather than let them kill each other.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't control it. It just happens.
Oh yeah, because they are just, and as I said, just because you feel good at some point, this guy's going to grow, and he could very well his aggressiveness could change. You think you got a cool situation, and then all of a sudden, this guy's become hyper aggressive again.
Yeah, but those fish, I love those fish.
But I know I was so into it, probably like you. I couldn't, and I was making good money at the time when I was younger. And I used to just blow so much money on fish.
Oh yeah, it happens. I'm telling you, if I wasn't able to sell them, I'd be broke. Thank God, I'm able to make my money back. Yeah, because I since my Jaguar died, now I'm getting some. I'm going to get more Jaguars. I'm going to get some red Dovai and then some regular Dovai.
I didn't know they came in.
Oh yeah, red Dovai is, from what I understand, it's a mutation that happens every so often, and then you take the 2 mutated ones and you breed them. They're really nice fish. Just imagine a doveye that's white and red. You know, it's or more of I guess like an orangey color sort of. But they're really nice fish, and from what I understand, they weren't introduced to the hobby too long ago, and now there's people out there breeding the offspring from the first ones that came in, and I know the guy that brought them over, so I'm excited to get some here in the fish room, man. I mean, I'd love to have some.
He gets them. He goes over and gets them in the wild.
Yeah, he has fishermen, and they go and they catch things wild, and then. I'm assuming he also gets stuff that's tank raised also, but yeah, he has collectors all over South America and Central America. And
he would go and just collect these fish right out of the wild. And if people who are really into it know you're getting them directly from the source, they'll spend a lot of money. Wild caught fish. There's people in New York City, like they'll spend tons of money, man.
Oh
Big
yeah,
time.
Shit, I know people right here in the neighborhood that'll spend tons of money on on fish.
When you said the Midas, you were talking about like a red devil, right?
Yeah, it's they're the same genus, but not the same species. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The red devil, they're Anthrotropis or Anthrolopus genus. I don't know. I probably said that wrong, so I apologize.
Mispronounced myself.
Yeah, I think the red devils have more of a big lips. Their lips are more pronounced and more of
a hump. That nuchal hump. They get those too.
Yeah, and then the Midas is more of a flatter around the mouth and a rounder jaw structure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This one here, man, I love him. I got him from a local pet shop. They had him sitting in like a 10-gallon tank, just sitting there. He was just sitting there on the bottom, and I'm like, "Why do you got this guy in such a small tank?" He's he kills everything inside. It says, "Let me have him. I'll take him." Charged me $50. I said, I'll be all right, and I haven't had any issues like that whatsoever. I brought him home, and automatically he was fine. And I've switched him up with different fish, and it's never him that's the issue. It's always the other fish that's the issue. So sometimes they put stigmas on these fish, or they say, hey, yeah, this fish kills everything, but they don't tell you exactly what you got this huge fish with. You could have them with a whole bunch of small fish or something like that. I don't know, but I haven't had any issues with them so far, knock on wood. The tank mates that I got him with now, everybody gets along pretty good. They respect his space, and that's it.
Do you have any synspillums over in?
No, I don't. I know someone who does. I personally don't have them. I wish I can have enough room to have every species over here.
Yeah,
but I definitely don't.
Those synspillums, if you can get that, they're because one of the first things I learned, and I'm sure you did too, was it's a lot easier to try to, rather than adapt the conditions that are you have on hand, like your water, what the size of it, all that. Get fish that will be best suited for the conditions that you can accommodate them with, and because I found once you start changing the parameters of adding chemicals and switching around the pH levels and all that.
Now that I think about it, I do have a friend that has some nice synspillums.
Yeah, they're really cool, and they're not that aggressive.
No, they're really bright too. I think I seen a picture not too long. I have to find out if he still got them, but really, really bright pinks and oranges and purples, and they're really, really nice fish.
Oh, they're beautiful, and they get about, you can get them. I've seen them about a foot long.
Yeah, they get pretty big,
and they get wide too.
Yeah,
they're like from side to side. If you measure them that way, they get pretty big that way too. But they're great looking fish, and as I said, they're pretty mellow. Like you couldn't, if you put them in a tank with, say, a red devil of a similar, the red devil would just kill them, I think.
Yeah. I know. I mean, from what I understand, every time you mix, you have a bunch of vieja cichlids. That as long as you mix them with other vieja cichlids, that they do pretty good. That's what I've heard. I mean, I've never had a tank full of them, but I have run across them here and there. But that's definitely another one of the tank setups that I'm looking to do this spring. Get them while I can, so I could start to grow them out and get them to pair up.
Well, you know how big you said you're breeding dovies. You know how big they could get.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, they the biggest one that I've seen was almost 3 foot long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're amongst. I think they're those and the ones that they catch the food fish. They're not particularly aggressive, and they don't have that characteristic cichlid look. I'm trying to remember the name of them. They look like something you would catch in like a sportsman's fish or something, but they're cichlids.
Oh, okay.
Those guys and the dova, I think they're the largest cichlids on Earth. I think.
Yeah, I know dovies get huge. On YouTube, there's a guy on there. He's got like a close to 40-inch dovi. I think he's over in Australia or Britain or something like that.
Yeah, you got to keep that in a swimming pool.
Yeah, they get pretty big. Another one I saw that was pretty big was on a video. Also, it was a fish farm guy in Florida that breeds them, and I guess because they just have constant fresh water running into those big vats that they have, and then it drains out. He had a couple of fry got out, and then they got into these pits that he has dug. He says he shows a picture of this fish. It had to be close to 4 foot long. And it's just, it went in there when it was a little tiny fry, and then it just, 10 years later, it just grows to its full potential because it's got so much space to swim around in. Those are, shit, I wouldn't mind having one of them. I don't have a tank big enough, though.
Yeah, well, not too many. Like I said, you literally need a swimming pool. Oh, hold on, I'm looking in a book. Oh, yeah, okay, this is the name of the fish it's called I don't know the common name, but it's called Cyclosoma aureum, gold cichlid or blue-red top cichlid. And they can get, let's see, 48 inches.
Oh, wow.
48 inches.
Cyclosoma, which one? Which one did it say it was?
It's okay. There's just two variations of it. I'll give you. There's Cichla, Cichla.
Yeah.
Ocellaris.
Oh, okay.
Ocellaris.
Ocellaris. This, I've heard of them. I've never seen them, but I've definitely heard of them.
And then there's the Cichla, and what it's saying in the source I'm looking at right here is aquarium. This species should be considered the same mold as firemouth, which is a tiny one. Those are nice fish, by the way.
Yeah, I had some firemouth. They're gone now, but I had some nice ones.
Yeah, they're nice because its body shape is small to me. These Aquariums, Aureum, they're the giant ones. They get enormous. What the heck? I saw over at the pet shanty. They had one once, and he wasn't to his full size, but he had to be. He was one of the largest fish I saw in a tank. Huh. He must have been close to 28, 30 inches long. Like a large trout.
Yeah.
Like a really big trout. This guy was.
Yeah, I'd like to see those.
But the dovies, if you can grow those out, have you ever seen a full? Well, you told me you did on a film, right?
Yeah. I mean, I seen one at an aquarium I went to once. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I saw one in a huge tank. But other than that, yeah, I'm trying to get up to one of these guys that I know that have them, so I can check them out. There's a few guys in New Jersey that have large ones.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you guys all communicate on a group chat or something?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram and and all the social media sites. You get to know certain people. Like I know I talk to a lot of people. People call me up a lot, and conversation I'm having with you, it happens all the time. You know what I mean? Like either people I know or don't know or whatever. So we all somewhat keep in contact, and even if we don't speak, we see what each other, what everyone is doing. I'm into the hobby pretty good. So when I look up videos, it's most likely a fish video about something. Try to widen my knowledge a little bit more on stuff that I'm not too keen on.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I could find a really nice pair. You said but I don't know if they'd be any good because I don't have that big of a tank anymore. But I would really like to get a nice pair of those Sinspillums.
Okay.
If they're, you said somebody.
Yeah, I know someone. If I'm not mistaken, he has small to medium sized ones. He doesn't have any large ones. So I mean, you in other words, you'd be able to have them for a while.
Yeah.
Before you figured out that you had to get a bigger tank.
Yeah, they would because I have a 38-gallon bow now.
Okay.
That is well suited to 3 goldfish.
Okay.
But say if one of the first cichlids, I think a lot of people start out with are Oscars.
Yeah.
And if you and that's a problem. You go to say a pet store. Not that there aren't that many of them around anymore. But people who used to see, the Oscars in a 10-gallon tank, oh, what a pretty cute little, and they buy it for their, 8-year-old kid, little realizing that, pretty soon that you'll be plating those things.
Yeah.
And they grow fast.
Yes, they do. I had I have some nice ones now, but I ran across some that were called blueberry Oscars. They were basically like an albino tiger Oscar with a blue sheen to them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And they were really nice, but unfortunately when I bought them, they weren't doing too well. They looked sort of sick when I bought them. And I said, I do this all the time. I said, maybe I can save them, Like, why leave them here and let them die at the fish store? But out of the 10 of them that I got, they were about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. None of them made it. They were just that sick when I got them. No matter what I did to them, it didn't do anything. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I have a strain of, I call them pink tiger Oscars because they're not white and orange. They're pink and orange. Like the white part of, you know what a albino tiger Oscar looks like. It's mostly white with the red orange stripes.
Uh-huh.
These ones are more of a pale pink color. And their stripes are more of a reddish orange rather than a bright orange. And I'm really hoping I can get them to breed. And also, I guess there's a split. They split because I have 4 that came from the same batch. One of them is a typical black tiger Oscar with the orange stripes. The other one is a white one that sort of fades into a dark black color towards his back tail, and then the other 2 are just the full pink with the stripes. So I'm assuming they all carry the albino gene. So if I can get any of them to breed, I'll be really happy.
Yeah. They're great. I love them too. I love the Oscars. They're and I had 2 huge ones. 2. I had an albino and just a red tiger Oscar in a 90-gallon tank. Big ones. They were about 10 inches, 12 inches long.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful looking tank. Oh, it was like dynamite to just watch them, go back and forth in there. But my problem was I was so when I was your age, I was like ridiculous, ferociously into it, and I would just want to try all different types.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the luxury that a guy like you had, because you can keep. You've got how many tanks? Like 15, 20 tanks?
Yeah, right now I got 27, and I'm hoping to set up another 6. And then I'll probably set up more after that.
Yeah, Okay. I was never anything even close to that.
Yeah, so I'm able to get certain things and keep them alone, until I can't keep them alone anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But what would happen to me was I probably had the same voracious appetite like you. I would just end up I would go into the store and I'd see these other, and I'd say, oh, I got to try those guys. So I would end up either giving away. Usually, I gave them away.
Yeah.
The fish I had, and like I said, I was making pretty good money. So I would just buy new ones, different species, and I found it fascinating because watching the different behavioral characteristics. And, all that stuff. Everything about them I would be into.
Hey man, that's good, man. You got to keep yourself busy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey man, it was really great talking to you, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing your little aqua world over there.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll just what I'll do is I'll give you a call later on and see if the guy doesn't come at 3. And even if he does, I don't know, are you available later in the afternoon? Because maybe you can come up after. I mean, you let me know what you want to do, and then we'll work it out.
Okay. Well, you can rest assured you will be hearing from me because I will want to see that.
But thank you for calling, man.
I'm a little reluctant to do it though because I know the way I am. I don't want to get all crazy caught up in it again. As I've gotten older, I've been conscientiously and trying to downsize everything.
Yeah, no, I get it.
When I was younger, I used to just splurge and just end up getting all kinds of stuff that I go way overboard.
Oh, okay.
The older you get, the less inclined you are to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I try to think that I'm not getting older, that I'm going to stay young forever.
The truth of the matter is the only certainty in life is that you're going to die.
Yeah, that's true. I told that to my kid, man. That's like the only thing I got to do is live and die. Anything I know that's exactly it's going to happen that way, no matter what. We just don't know when it's going to happen.
It really is.
Just got to fill in the gaps. Make sure we fill in the gaps.
The only certainty in life.
Yep, that's true.
Everything else is intangible and subjective. If you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
I think every aspect of while you're alive is abstract and intangible or subjective. Choose your word. The only thing that without a doubt, 100% certainty is death.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And on that morbid note, I will. It was great talking to you, man.
You too, man. Now I don't know if this may be too much to ask, but if you know how to do a Google review, that really helps me out. When I come over, you tell me how to do it, and I'll do it. All right, cool, definitely.
I have no idea how to do a Google. I don't even know what a Google review is.
Well, when you search on somebody from Google and you see their ad, if you scroll down towards the bottom, it'll say "add a review," and then when you click,
I think I've seen.
Yeah, when you click that, you just kind of put in the review your experience from your phone call or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Convinced me. I've never even met you, and you've been on the phone. We've been on the phone for an hour, and I've really enjoyed talking.
Yeah, hey, believe me, this is an everyday thing for me, man. Like, I answer the phone. That's why I list my number, and hopefully I can help you out. And if I can, I'll find someone that can.
Cool, man.
All right, cool, man. Well, it's nice meeting you, Mike.
Man.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing your stuff and meeting you.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Live Phone Calls on the Fish House. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Check out our website at bossfishspecialtycichlids.com. Make sure you download this podcast and subscribe and follow us so that you can check out all of our future podcasts. Thanks for going on this journey with us.